Hello everyone, my name is Giraton and welcome back to B.B.T.A. And today, we're doing another good card simping. We have here 75 different Digimon cards I'm going to talk about. Today's episode, we'll be covering Digimon cards up into what has been announced at least, or in any way leaked or anything like that, up to the 18th of October 2020. So this covers set 1 to 3, but not all of set 3. Does cover the promo cards, though I didn't put many promo cards in there. So I just have 75 sets of cards. Now, for those who didn't watch the previous video on the Bakugan cards, let me just explain how this format works. It's pretty simple. I get a bunch of cards that I just really like in some way or form, and I just talk about them. That's all we're going to be doing. Going to be talking about all 75 cards. So this is probably going to be quite longer than the Bakugan video, but the Bakugan video, in some way, is also split between the different card types, whereas for Digimon, I'm just tossing it out there. This is just cards from everything, in no, thing or anything like that. In fact, let's click the level sort. That might give us at least a bit of a progression of something instead of the random thing I had there. So, we're starting off with, and let it load, Hagurumon. I love Hagurumon. Not as a card. I mean, it's a vanilla. It's a nice vanilla. It's 2 cost, 3000 DP. It's just a level 3, it's pretty simple vanilla, and you use it, because it's nice vanilla. But I just like Hagurumon because it's my favorite Digimon, that's the only reason it's on this list. Yes, before I go any further, these is not necessarily good cards, but they at least have something interesting, or something I just particularly like about them. In this case, it's just, I like the Digimon pictured on it. Plus, he's nice and happy, he's just tossing gears everywhere. He's having the time of his life. Toyagumon is next. Now, this one I actually like because of its inherited ability, which is Reboot, which lends itself to a bunch of combos in black, and also is just nice to have on the pretty blocker-heavy setup that black ends up getting. Plus, it's like a Lego Digimon, which is kind of just funny. But yeah, Reboot is a really good ability to have as an inheritable, even if it's only a 3 cost 1000 DP Digimon. Reboot is just so good. For those who don't know what Reboot is, even though you can read it there, it's in the opponent's active phase, you make it active. This basically means he restands when your opponent also restands, which can help in quite a few ways, including keeping things alive and re-enabling blockers. Ludomon is next. Okay, we're jumping right to set 3 for this one. Went from set 2, set 2, set 3. Ludomon is one of the new Ragnar Lordmon and Legend Arms support cards. He helped set up the Ragnar Lordmon. I'm pretty sure I have the other one that's in, I think, red, also in this list. Yeah, I think I'd see it in the corner there. It's a really interesting deck that I am very interested in playing, and I kind of hope it's in set 1.0 instead of set 1.5, but I'm almost certain it's going to be in 1.5, because it's just too interesting to put in the first set, and I'm going to be really annoyed and all that jazz, but either way, I'm going to be trying to play for this deck, mostly because it's red-black. It reminds me of Fury from Bakugan. And it's also really, really powerful and uses Digimon as I kind of like in its sort of chain. Plus, it has just a really interesting effect. Next up, we have Gabumon for set 1. Now, he has a when played effect, you draw 1 card. It's a pretty simple cantrip, and you can't quite see it with how I've got this camera set up, but it's 1000 DP, cost 3, Evo cost is 0, as a level 3. Now that when played effect is kind of, yeah, it's pretty good. You just play it down for 3, you draw a card, then you use it as evolution stuff. Pretty pardon me, pretty simple. But Blue has a nice little combo that allows you to summon it from being a source for another Digimon, meaning you can reactivate the effect. And I just find that little combo to be neat. That's why Gabumon's on this list. And then we have another Gabumon, which is an inheritable skill of when attacking, discard one Digivolution source from the bottom of one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. I feel like I should have made my tutorial video before doing this video, but yeah. If anyone's confused, I'll just ask questions in the comments, but try to find the rules elsewhere. I haven't gotten around to my tutorial video just yet. I'm hoping to do it before November. I do have a bit of a time limit if that's my goal. Or at least try to do it before the sneak release. Palmon is up next. This is from set 1. And, right, the Gabumon here was from the starter deck. So the last Gabumon was from the starter set. Palmon here is, when played, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you add 1 level 4 Digimon from amongst them into your hand, and put the rest into the bottom of your deck in any order. This basically just says, hey, you can evolve straight away. That being said, it does cost 3. That can be a little annoying, but green nearly always runs, Mimi, which is their equivalent to, the gain 3 memory if your opponent tries to pass with less than 3 memory. And since they always want to be playing that, Palmon's actually pretty good at just being slapped down, get the effect, evolve, go from there. That sort of thing. So it's a pretty good card. That effect is really nice. Plus, I kind of like Palmon from the show. Palmon's fun. Tapiamon is a when destroyed, draw 1, 3 cost, 2000 DP. This is a staple purple card because that effect is just really, really nice. But also, look at this guy, he's adorable. Tapiamon is adorable. That's the only reason he's on this list, but yeah, that effect is really good. It's on this list for being cute, but he's pretty good, thankfully. Zubamon is next, and he's the other Ragnarlordramon, or Legend Arms, reveal top 5. Notably, it does add 1 Ragnarlordramon and 1 Legend Arms, so you can get 2 for 1, which is really good for 3 cost. You look at a Palmon just gets 1, and then you got Zubamon here, which checks more cards and gets 2. So, yeah, Ragnarlordramon is looking really good. Patamon? Which Patamon is this? This is from set 1. Let's wait until the Koromon deloads. I mean, we can read the effect here. Never mind. It's 3 cost, 2000 DP. When played, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, and you add all yellow Teamer cards from amongst those cards and put them into your hand. You place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Just like I mentioned in Zubamon, that amount of card advantage from 1 card is kind of ridiculous. You only have to get 2 Tamer cards, and you're already more value than most cards in this game. And of course, Yellow has a really good Tamer focus deck, and a Patamon is obviously a staple of that. So Patamon's just really good. Plus, I kind of like Patamon as a Digimon. One of my early attachments, though, mostly because it just looked like a different Pikachu with wings. My younger self really liked Pikachu. Black Greymon from set 2. If this Digimon has Reboot, get Jamming. That's a really good combo with Toyagumon, as well as a bunch of other things. But basically, Reboot plus Jamming is kind of ridiculous, because that combo in itself just basically means your Digimon isn't going to die from attacks. Because you restand, meaning you can't get attacked, and you also have Jamming, which means if you attack security and the security Digimon is bigger than you, you don't die, because Jamming just says no. So Reboot plus Jamming as a combo just makes things really, really sticky. And that's why I like Black Greymon here. He's just really nice. Garurumon from set 1. When played, one of your Digimon becomes active, just like Set 1 Gabumon. This card has a nice little combo when you bring it out from... when you summon it from the Soul, which I believe is actually Metal Garurumon that even does that, so... as long as you're playing through the chain, you're going to get a nice set of combos there. Especially since that's on attack, and Garurumon makes the Digimon active, meaning they can attack again. It's kind of silly. That's the part that makes the more Omnimon focused. Omnimon, Omegamon, whatever name you want to use. Yeah, it makes that focus deck kind of funny to use. It's not used in every version of the build, but it is a nice combo to have if you want it. Yeah, just Garurumon is good. We got Veedramon 0 here. This is part of the Veedramon deck. And it's 6 cost, 5000 DP, Evo cost of 2. And when you attack, by discarding 3 cards on the top of your deck, so mill yourself by 3, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP until the end of your turn, making it 7. For level 4, that's okay. But the fact that then leads into the Inheritable, which is when attacking by returning 3 non-Digi-Egg cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, you draw 1, gets kind of ridiculous very quickly, because even if your opponent isn't destroying your stuff, you can use the combo anyway, and draw 1 card. You gotta hope that it survives combat, though I think Veedramon is getting, as like a chain, is getting like a give jamming inheritable or something. I don't recall, but there was like ways of giving the deck jamming. And if you could give it to this, that would be kind of amazing. Because then you just attack, mill 3, guaranteed kill security, set up your combos for later and draw a card. Sounds pretty good to me. I think there's also like cards that get back Tamers from the discard pile, which is really important for the Veedramon deck. Just to clarify here, I haven't played an awful lot of the Digimon card game. A lot of these are just sort of me looking at the cards, glancing at them and thinking, that's either a really cool effect or a really just funny effect of some sort. That's what a lot of these are. I need to play a lot more of the game before I can make any more judgments, but that's why I put the stipulation at the start, that these are not necessarily good cards, just cards that do things that I like. And this is actually a really good example of this, because this is the starter deck Garurumon, which gives an inheritable of discarded Digivolution source from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. That's a really cool effect, but Garurumon doesn't necessarily fit into most of the decks, mostly because of space for better cards, to my knowledge. This is, to my knowledge, citation needed on everything I say. Like, I'm doing a lot of research, but I don't know everything. I haven't played enough tournaments to really look at that. Kabuterimon is next on the list. I've been reading out the stats, but you can really just see them there. I will read out anything that I find interesting about the cards, of course. This being only 1 evolution cost for level 4, which is, I think, is that standard? No, it's not standard. Most of the time it's 2. So having it at 1 is already interesting for the Evo cost, and that's because it costs 6 on base. And its inheritable is, for every one of your opponent's rested Digimon, this Digimon gets 1000 DP, which could get huge really quickly, because you have a lot of green cards that rest your opponent's stuff, so you can attack them. And then, of course, because your opponent has rested stuff, your thing is getting bigger and thus easier to kill them. Very, very interesting card to have, because that inheritable can get huge very, very quickly. Especially if you're up against some sort of rookie spam list, and you have something that just mass rest, or your opponent just tried to do all their attacks and failed, and then you've got just big things slapping them. Although if you're up against Rookie Rush, I guess you don't really need the power boost. I I mean, I guess it may be a bit good against purple. I don't know. Digimon. 6 cost, Evo 2, when evolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You add 1 level 5 or more Digimon from monsters into your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your deck in the order. This is in here for the same reason as Palmon. It's just more Evo chaining. It's a bit more of a cost to it, but no, you have to play Palmon to get the effect, and then you have to Evo this, which only costs 2, so you go over 3 to 2. You should be fine. Might be able to evolve straight off it. Yeah, Digimon good. IMO. Now, I actually have to combo this with another card, but Wizardmon is on this list because it has the interesting effect of, if you have a yellow Digimon, you get Vengeance. Vengeance is good because it's basically Death Touch, only you have to die. Basically, if 2 Digimon fight, and one has Vengeance, if the one with Vengeance dies, so does the thing attacking it. It does end up being sort of like Death Touch, but, you know, you can't really save it or anything like that. And when destroyed, draw 1 card. It costs 2 to evolve into. It's 4 cost, 4000 DP, level 4. The reason why this is particularly interesting is because it combos with Gatomon here, which is, if you have a purple Digimon, one of your apprentice Digimons gets minus 4000 DP until the end of this turn. That's when played, and your turn, if one of your other Digimon is destroyed, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP. Basically, if you have Wizardmon on the field and you play Gatomon and you manage to not spend all your memory doing that, you can ram Wizardmon and then attack with Gatomon into something else. Or you could just play Wizardmon, play this, try to kill something with 4000 or less DP, and then next turn, ram Wizardmon, get the power boost on Gatomon, and kill something with like 6000 DP. It's a bit of a clunky combo though. I'm mostly just putting it in this list because that is an interesting combo that they did intend, and it has a nice little fluffy reasons for doing so, because it's a reference to the show. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a good combo, but I do think it's an interesting combo. It's a real shame that that's a when played and not when evolved effect, because that would have changed so much about that combo. Devimon is up next, and he just has an inherited effect of Vengeance, and also has Vengeance himself. Let's just wait for him to load a bit. Hey! Yeah, so he has Vengeance and gives Vengeance. Vengeance is really powerful. This card you could basically just evolve from your level 3, ram him into something, kill something off. Really good way of getting rid of giant threats for relatively low cost. It's also Devimon, who was the first villain of Adventure. The first major villain of Adventure. There is multiple, but yeah, he just has... He's got a cool set of effects, and is a cool character from the show. Greymon. Just a security attack inheritance, but that's surprisingly effective for a starter deck card. Because this stacked up with... Because this is giving security attack to anything that's bigger than it, and you're playing red probably, you probably give it even more security attack on top of that. That gets crazy fast, and you could just wipe out your opponent's entire security in a single attack if you stack it up really well. Deals quite more damage than he looks, and honestly that artwork is just badass. He looks like he can do a lot of damage. That's the Gatomon from earlier. Now we have Metal Greymon. He has Reboot on base, and then his inheritable is, if the Digimon has Reboot, security attack plus 1. So, not only can he gain Greymon's effect for the Reboot just naturally, without needing to go through Toyagamon, but if Toyagamon is in your setup, anything he evolves into gets security attack plus 1, and that gets crazy really, really quickly, because you've got Reboot, maybe jamming, and security attack plus 1. that all combined is really scary really quick, and that's not even considering the final stage that you probably set this thing on. Set on this thing. We will get to one of those later. Metal Mamenon. I have both of the virus attribute level 7 things. This is for the Alter S Omnimon that hasn't been revealed yet, but will be in set 3. And I just like the Alter S, like, sort of chain. Mostly because I do own a Digivice, and I have gone through the process of getting a Megamon on it. The Alter S variant. Took some effort, and unfortunately I lost the Digimon for a week, and lost the Megamon while doing so. I feel really bad for that. Though I'm currently bracing up a new set. I've got Jessamon on it, which is nice and cool. But yeah, it also has Reboot in itself, so that leads in with all the previous combos and stuff, if you need it. And that return ability is pretty good if you get it. So yeah, he's neat. Digitamamon! When attacking, gain +3 memory at the end of your turn, get -3 memory. I just think this is a neat effect that can lead into really powerful combos, but of course it's a game reward, it's a risk-reward sort of card, because giving your opponent an extra 3 memory can backfire hard. But of course, so that's, I'm pretty sure this isn't a commonly used card, if a used card at all, but its effect is interesting, and if it is used, I am scared of what it's being used for. Now, is this Jagamon or Jagamon? No, I think it's Jagamon. Because, like, jagged edges. When attacking, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may Digivolve into a level 6 green Digimon from amongst them without paying its cost. And then you put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. That's just cool. Being able to Digivolve when attacking is just funny. Especially since you're not paying its cost, and that can pay off really hard. But it can also just whiff, and if you're banking on its effect going off, that can backfire hard. That being said, it's got 7,000 DP. It is not weak. That's a solid stat, even if it is level 5. To my experience. Lilymon has an inheritable of, when attacking, rest one of your opponent's Digimon without blocker, which of course leads into all of Green's combo things, including like attacking stuff, Kabuterimon, a few other things like that, and it also has just really cute artwork. Lilymon is just, it's just cute. Lilymon is cute. That is all. Wagarurumon. This is the purple Garurumon. Wagarurumon. When attacking, once per turn, by destroying one of your other Digimon, this Digimon becomes active. That sounds really good to me. Especially since that's an inheritable, so you can give it to stuff, and I'm pretty sure this is designed for... it might not be designed... No... Yes? Maybe? No, it's not. I don't think it's designed for Alter S. Alter S is like black-red, I think. Yeah, I think it's something like that. But yeah, Wagarurumon having that pretty powerful effect of basically triggering all your... what you're meant to be doing with purple, which is killing your own stuff, while restanding, that could get crazy real quick. That's in B.T.A 2. Yeah, that's definitely not supporting Alter S. I don't know where my brain was going with that. Hyandramon! He's a vanilla. But this is in here because I've actually played this deck with Hyandramon, and the amount of times that I would just slap Hyandramon on turn 1 and go deal with it, and then my opponent couldn't, and then slid down Millenniumon, which we will see later, and basically be from a winning position straight up, is kind of insane. That is a surprisingly powerful strat to do on turn 1. It's a really good challenge card. And of course, you're running it in the deck because it's a 2-cost Evo, 12,000 DP in a Millenniumon deck. that's a really good thing to stage up from. And you can give it all the buffs from Reboot and all that jazz. He doesn't have blocker, but he doesn't have anything. You're not using him for his effects. You're using him because he's 12 and he's cheap. That's it. Being 10 cost is also nice and helpful because you can always just slap him down on a turn. He's not over 10 cost. So that's surprisingly helpful. Black War Greymon is next. He is in here because of that badass art. Look at that full art. It's so good. He also has, if your opponent has a Digimon with 10,000 DP or more, the cost to play this card from your hand is reduced by 6, which makes it 7? Yeah, 7. That's not too great, but when attacking, if this Digimon is battling your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP, this Digimon becomes active. It doesn't even cost a 4. I don't really find this to be an amazing card, but that art is badass. And hey, restanding while killing your opponent's Digimon is still a powerful effect. Especially since that is not once per turn, I just noticed. Yeah, as long as you can keep killing your opponent's Digimon, that's gonna get ridiculous fast. You can just clear an entire field. Black-green, anyone? I don't know. Crescarurumon is a recently revealed card. Cost 11. Evo cost is from black, 4 or from red. Also 4. 11,000 DP. Has Reboot, meaning it does work with all the black combos. Also not that bad in red, honestly. But when Digivolved, for each of your opponent's Digimon, you reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. You may play 1 black or red level 5 or less Digimon from amongst them without paying its cost, and you put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. This is support for the Alter S secret that we don't know quite how it works yet. But also, this is just a really good card with really cool artwork. Is part of the Alter S line, which I've already explained I like. It supports red and black, meaning I can also use this in Ragnar decks. And it has Reboot, which means combos. So, I like this card. I like this card quite a bit. Craniumon. This is actually not supporting a deck style I kind of like from black, but also definitely want to try anyway because this is blocker. Both players' turn, all your Digimon with blocker cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. That could be insanely powerful. That being said, blue is still the most common color, and blue gets around that anti-destruction clause by bouncing, as well as a few other decks can do non-destruction removal. Blue is just the one I'm really annoyed at the most. But that's a powerful effect, and if you're going for a blocker-focused black deck, that is hard to pass up. Will I build around it? I don't know. I'd have to see how good and how interesting the blocker game plan ends up being. Diaboromon's promo is what I have in here. I'm not sure if I put in the actual Diaboromon that summons tokens. I might not have, and I would be really disappointed if I didn't. But this is cost 11, Evo 3 cost, which that is surprisingly important, not being 4 cost. Getting a bunch of phlegm. That's not great. But your turn security attack +1 for each Diaboromon you have. Now this is clearly designed to combo with the other Diaboromon that summons tokens, because you get just the stacks of security attack for each of the Diaboromon tokens. But he does work perfectly fine by himself, because guess what? He counts himself, so he has naturally in a security attack +1, meaning he's already hitting for 2. You stack him with Metal Greymon, have the Reboot enabled, and then you're attacking for 3 security attack with 1 card. That is surprisingly enough damage for black to get anywhere, because black is a pretty slow deck, all considering. You're mostly going out there with very sticky stuff that could just punch constantly as security. It kind of plays a bit tempo-y, but it's relatively slow, because you're not really doing a lot of damage. You're more just having things that your opponent can't easily remove. But Diaboromon is enough, like, aggression power, even with just himself, to start smacking back, when otherwise you'd just be pretty slow, all considering. Okay, I did have the other Diaboromon. Let's cover him real quick. And the reason why I didn't realize Diaboromon wasn't here is because he's not black. He evolves from black, but is white for some reason. I don't know why there's a black one and a white one, but this is, when attacking, you may play a Diaboromon token, which is a clone of him of every way except for DP. Its DP is only 3,000. And during both players' turn, if this card would be destroyed by battle, you may destroy another Diaboromon you have instead, which of course is normally the tokens. So that he can, funnily enough, ram into other 10Ks. I don't find him cool. I haven't really tested this, but I have been recommended the other Diaboromon more. Mostly because you just need the aggression more than you just need token summoning. But this can be quite funny. Plus, it's a pretty... it reminds me of, like, Tracer the Infinite's ability in Warhammer 40k, where it's just like, oh, you thought you killed me? No, it was only my clone. which is just funny. This is just a funny card overall, and that's why he's in the list. Let's go with a blue Metal Garurumon. This is the one that plays a level 4 or less Digimon from its Digivolution source as a separate card. That's the one that combos with Garurumon and Gabumon. Yeah, really powerful combo. That just gets you a lot of advantage. I'm not sure if people are still playing it, but it's always nice to have. I'm pretty sure people are still playing Metal Garurumon, even if they're not running the combo, because that amount of just, hey, you're summoning free stuff, and then you're just using it as a stage to get into a Mega, it's pretty good. Now, Metal Seadramon. Now, this isn't... Pretty sure there was like a Seadramon or something in another thing. I'm pulling a blank. Starting to run out of information in my brain as I'm trying to explain all these cards, just going through them. Now, this has a when played, you return up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or less Digimon to their hand. Those Digimon's Digivolution sources are discarded. And then during your turn, this Digimon cannot be blocked by opponent's Digimon without a Digivolution source. I think I liked this part more than the return, though the return can be a nice counter to someone trying to Rookie Rush you, because it is a when played effect, but not being able to be blocked by people who are just playing down blockers to try and survive is surprisingly powerful. Now, this card is... I don't think I've seen this card played very often, because blue has better options, and this doesn't really have the room to fit in as a side card. But it's interesting to me. And I also... That artwork is just cool. The artwork is cool. Cards can be in this list because the artwork's cool. And Alphos Veedramon is in here for pretty much all the right reasons. If your blue tamer becomes rested, this Digimon becomes active. Really powerful! Your turn, once per turn, if this Digimon becomes active during your main phase, you gain +1 memory. That's also really powerful, because that first effect is not once per turn. That second effect is, but that doesn't matter, you're getting +1 memory anyway, which can be really strong in this deck that is just like kind of all in on this one card. It does have a sort of quote-unquote dies to removal problem, where if your entire game plan is revolving around an All-Force Digimon, and the Digimon just dies, you're kind of screwed. But this effects combo is just really good. But you have to build around it. But it is a deck that constantly gets just support cards. Like, we still haven't gotten all the All-Force, all the Digimon cards from, like, set 3, I think. We might have, we might not have. I don't know. But yeah, really good card. The only problem with the card is, in order to build this deck, you kind of need pieces from everywhere. Fortunately, they have announced for English this is going to be somewhat easy. Because you might have to buy both set 1.0 and 1.5. At the very least, the promo cards that you also need are box toppers in the set. So, yeah. Plus the deck kind of just plays really fun. I've only played like 2 games with it, but it plays really fun. Goldramon. Your turn, what's your turn? If you play another Digimon, this Digimon becomes active. And that is not an easy thing to sort of go really hard in, because you are paying memory costs for each one of those. Because this is when you play. Not when you evolve, when you play. But it has potential. And that's why it's in this list, because it looks like it has quite a bit of potential. Especially since it combos with Metal Garurumon if you happen to have both of them out. And considering that both are level 6, that's not out of the realm of possibility. It's going to take over, like, 2 turns. But, if you manage to get that combo, that's really good. Pardon me. Leopardmon, when Digivolved, you may play one level 4 or less Digimon from one of your Digimon's evolution sources without paying its cost. And your turn, your level 4 or less Digimon have jamming. And this combos with Metal Garurumon and Goldramon, and that is a surprisingly effective combo setup if everything wasn't level 6. That being said, your level 4 or less Digimon have jamming. That is quite a powerful effect, because your level 4 or less Digimon are probably not going to survive a security attack. So being able to suddenly spam throw your level 4s and then attack with them without having to worry about them dying, that's really good. That's a huge tempo swing. Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode. Oh boy, this is one of the set 3 cards that people are excited about. If it digivolves from a Paildramon or Dino Beedramon, the cost to digivolve this Digimon is reduced by 2. That's from 5 to 3, which means you're going from overcosted to average cost for an evolution by going through the previous stage of the chain. And then it has jamming itself, and when digivolved, all your Digimon with jamming become active, which of course combos with Leopardmon, which is already comboing with these two. That's really stupid. There is no room to fit all of them in. But oh boy, if you could. That would be a huge combo. I'm pretty sure you're just going to end up running Leopardmon and Imperial Dramon. But that's just a nice card with a nice set of effects that is very interesting, and you can run green with it if you really wanted to. I'm not really sure how green fits with that card very well, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I mean, if you got this after spamming a bunch of level 4s using green and you have Leopardmon out, that might work? I don't know. The only reason these are all in here is because they have, like, huge potential. Not necessarily because that potential actually works. Rosemon, I'm pretty sure she's just in here for the art, because damn! But also, opponent's turn, After an opponent's Digimon attacks the player or the security, if the Digimon is at rest one of your opponent's Digimon. Hey, that's pretty good. That sets up a few combos and stuff, and yeah, that's a pretty effective effect, honestly. Because it just stops your opponent from attacking as much, and also allows you to retaliate quite hard. Very defensive card, though. Grand Kuwagamon. Now, this is actually considered one of the better cards in green, to my knowledge. This has piercing, which means after it destroys an opponent's Digimon because of battle, you do a security check. That does not count as attack and security as like a... look, I forget how the rulings work, and I am running out of brain space to explain everything because we still have quite a few more cards to go through, and I've already explained all this. My brain is now just buzzing of combos, and it's getting a little annoying because I need to explain more cards. But that with the power boost, and then I think there's like a thing that there's like a card that we're going to talk about later that's like every time you kill something you get to like restand and attack again, which gets crazy when you've got this 15,000 DP attacker that has piercing. That's gonna kill a lot. You got a combo with a bunch of resting stuff, but that will win games, and I think that's like a pretty common green combo. Though I'm pretty sure Rust Tyrannomon, which will be in a sec, is a bit more common. Argamon. This is for the download-focused section of green. So what download does is when you would digivolve into this Digimon, you may rest one of your Digimon to reduce the Digivolution cost by 3. Which leads into the second effect, which is during your turn, for every one of your rested Digimon, you gain +1 security attack. Meaning you could rest all your stuff, Digimon into Argamon, and you rested 2 cards, likely, because you had to reduce the cost by 5 to make it 0, which means you gotta rest 2 Digimon because that will reduce it by 6. No, it doesn't go into negatives. That would be silly. But you probably have 2 Digimon rested, ready to go. You swing for security attack, that's +2, so you're hitting 3 security checks. It is only 11,000 DP, but if you've got like a Kabuterimon, you might have a bit more than that, and it should be able to survive most of your security attacks if that's what your combo is. He's in here because I actually like the download section of the deck, and honestly, I feel like there should be some support for Argamon where it's just like, shared name, get stuff. Because all of its previous stages are also called Argamon, to my knowledge. Rust Tyrannomon! If you have a green tamer, this Digimon can attack your opponent's active Digimon, which if you do, you get to rest one of your opponent's Digimon, meaning you can attack that with a different Digimon. And of course, if you combo with that card I mentioned earlier, this can attack an opponent's active Digimon, which then restands it, and arrest one of your opponent's Digimon, which you then get to attack, and then you just get to do that. That's quite a combo chain through your opponent's entire field. It is full cost, meaning it's full cost to evolve, so that's not cheap, but it is very powerful. Ceresmon, download 3, your turn. Once per turn, you may rest your opponent's Digimon instead of your own when using download. You combo this with the Argamon line, and it just gets kind of ridiculous very, very quickly. Because you're resting all your opponent's stuff to summon all your own stuff, and then you get to attack all your opponent's stuff. That's pretty damn good. Unfortunately, it doesn't have its own effect applied to its own download, so you might have to rest some of your own, so you can summon this, and that is just a big whole thing, but this is a powerful card to have around. It is evolution cost 5, but you got download, so that cost is mitigated, just like an Agumon. Bancho Stingmon has piercing. Only 9,000 DP. I didn't notice that first time. But of course, if this Digimon attacks your opponent's Digimon with 12,000 DP or more, he gets plus 7,000 DP and security attack plus 2 until the end of this turn, which works with his piercing. So he attacks a big thing, he becomes even bigger, then he gets to a security attack a total of 3 times, which is insane. I have a feeling green is just gonna splash this card for, like, countering stuff more than actually building around it, but I think he's also gonna be a pretty common thing in green decks. That's just a guess, I'm not entirely sure, but he deals with Omegamon pretty damn well, even if Omegamon does kill off his entire thing to summon him from, which might be a little bit tricky. Does deal with every other boss monster, though, pretty well. Mastermon is the purple and yellow combo. And I'm pretty sure this counts as a Jogress show-wise or something. But when Digivolved, you discard 1 security from both players, from the top, and then you may play a level 4 or less yellow or purple Digimon from your trash without paying its cost. Note that purple has quite a few revival effects. They have quite a few cards that say, hey, summon this thing, but normally when they say you don't get their when played effects. This doesn't say that. What this effectively says is, you're spending 1 of your own security. That's going to be a cost. If you're playing yellow, might not be as big as a cost as you think. But your opponent then loses 1 of their security, which can be really powerful and really aggressive, and you're getting 1 of your Digimon back from the trash, which could be really good. And let's see, level 4, does that combo? Yes, it does. It does combo with the Gatomon and Wizardmon combo. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Because you can bring back Gatomon and get the when played. If you have a purple Digimon, get +4. Because this is a purple Digimon that you can play in yellow. They have thought this through. Okay, another purple Digimon from set 3. Lilithmon. Yeah, this is the card I want to play in purple, because when Digivolved, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you return 2 purple option cards from your trash to your hand, which is already a pretty solid recovery, and that's on Digivolve, not play. That's pretty good. But then, during your turn, once per turn, when you play an option card, you get +2 memory. And you probably got 2 back, and it costs 3 to evolve. Meaning you might just be able to play another thing and then play another thing. And your option cards often only cost 2 memory, meaning you could play, even if you're at 0, you will play an option card that costs 2, go back to 0, play another card, which might be your other option you recovered, which might also cost 2, and you put your opponent at 2. I'm running out of breath. How long has this video been going? Oh my god, it's 48 minutes. Oh, and I'm going to be doing very little editing, so this is going to be a long video. Lilithmon is good. This is the part of purple I really want to play. Plus she is really pretty. Volcanic Dramon is next up on the list. He's pretty damn simple. He's security attack +1, and when played, destroy your opponent's Digimon with 12,000 DP or less. This has been used as a sort of tech counter to Rookie Rush. You do have to time it right, because if you don't, your opponent's Rookie Rush is just going to play a whole new field. But if you do time it right, your opponent has no hand, or very little hand, not many rookies, no rookies to use, and you're hitting with a security attack +1, 10,000 DP Digimon. Pretty good. You are giving your opponent, you have to spend at least 11, so you will probably be giving your opponent 10. If you're really just playing this as your only card in a turn, then you might be able to push it down to like 8 on average, maybe. You're up against Rookie Rush if you're playing this card, so yeah, you're probably... This is a tech card. You are not playing this normally. You are playing this to get the effect against one specific type of build, one type of situation you might be in. But it's really good when you do that, because its payoff is really good. Gallantmon is not in here because it's a good card. It is in here because it is an interesting one. When you Digivolve it, if you have a red tamer, you destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less, and when attacking for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash, you just straight up discard one of your opponent's security. That's without doing a check. Now, for getting those 10 cards in your opponent's trash, that might be a little bit tricky. Getting 20 cards in your opponent's trash is even trickier. But that removal does target most blockers, and that security removal is free, so it can pay off big time. It's just most of the time, a lot of decks just build, especially a lot of red decks, just build around other cards that work a lot faster. This is a 4-cost Evo, 12 cost to play, and you probably want to Digivolve into it to get its effects. Valkyrimon! 11 costs, 9,000 DP, 3 to cost to Evo, but when you Digivolve it, you destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less, and when attacking, you destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. This has similar issues to Gallantmon, but that value can be quite a bit. Might be an interesting, more standardized play against Rookie Rush. Like if you want to play Valkyrimon as a stage, you might be using it also to deal with your opponent's Rookie Rushes. And that when attacking can stack up pretty damn hard. But he's mostly in here because he's interesting, and I want to see how he goes. He isn't set 3, so we haven't seen him in action yet. Not commonly, anyway. I think people are, testing him. Phoenixmon is in here because it's bloody cool art in the starter set. He's also a pretty nice vanilla at 2 cost to evolve 12,000 DP. You're probably using him to stage up into a Megamon if you're running him. But his artwork is awesome! Look at this! And it ends up being foily and stuff in the trial deck too, if I recall correctly. Because I've seen our Triple X's copy of this once. And that was beautiful. We already saw Diaboromon, so let's move on to Yellow's most notorious card. Actually, I'm gonna look at this first, because I want to explain this card before I explain that card. So Seraphimon is in the starter set for Yellow. Evo cost is 4, which is pretty high, and you're only getting 10,000 DP, but when you attack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for this turn. If you stack that up with the other cards in the starter set, you end up removing quite a bit of DP from your opponent. You might even kill them, and then you get all the Digimon died by DP effects off. And that basically means he can attack security while killing off Digimon, and that can be really powerful in the starter set meta. And there's also just a nice combo in general that Yellow really likes to use with Shine Greymon, because he does it so much better. When Digivolved, you rest all your Yellow Tamers, and for every Tamer rested by this effect, activate the following effect. -1 to one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP until the end of this turn. And during this turn, this Digimon gets 1,000 DP for every Tamer you have, so you play a bunch of Tamers, you rest them all, kill off your opponent's entire field, which if they're playing Rookie Rush is definitely all of their entire field. If not, you can combo it with other cards to skill kill your opponent's entire field. That gets insane real quick. Shine Greymon has been a powerhouse of Yellow decks since release. So people have really, shined to him. That was a bad joke, Blake. Yeah, Shine Greymon is good. I like Seraphimon for doing it on attack and being really good in the starter set matchup, but Shine Greymon is just Seraphimon, but better. That's why I wanted to explain Seraphimon. First, Cherubimon. Hey, this character is, like, kind of interesting in the show that Cherubimon appears in. It's like the main villain for, like, a good chunk of it. And when attacking, if your security is 3 or less, you place 1 yellow Digimon from your trash on the top of your security. That could be any level of yellow Digimon. I mean, you could play a giant, like level 7 even, if there's a yellow level 7 that's actually worth it at all. I don't actually know, I haven't really checked that far. Or at least my memory is saying that I haven't checked that far. I might have and just completely forgotten it. But I'm really running out of breath. If this is mostly so you can set up the new Digimon that have a security effect of play when you check them. I would have put one of them in the list just to represent them all. I just completely forgot to do that. But yeah, those Digimon are really good because they just allow you to start up new evolution chains, and Cherubimon is really good for setting that up. Might be a good build-around card in the future, rather than just focusing on Shine Greymon. But yeah, Cherubimon is really good and really interesting. Yay, we get up to the big boy himself, Ragnarlordramon! Ragnarlordmon. Oh boy, that art is amazing! I absolutely love it. Sword and Shield, because the other one is like a sword Digimon, the other one's a shield Digimon, and they fuse into this thing. And then he has 3 costs to evolve. From either red or black. This is a level 7 for 14,000 DP. Has security attack 1, +1. Reboot. And when Digivolved, by adding 1 Durandramon or Breyludramon from your hand to the top of this Digimon's Digivolution sources, you get +3 memory. Meaning you completely refund his cost to evolve into. That is insane! And not only that, but those 2 particular ones do give an effect to Ragnarlordramon. I was dumb, I didn't add them actually to this list. I would have if I thought about that. Because I had like a memory blank on remembering what Lordramon did when I was adding him to the list. I just knew that I really liked him. But basically you could give some insane combos to Ragnarlordramon. And you can just do this by like stacking him in the... you just keep his chain in the taming area, and then you just bring him out. You just bring out his level 6, whenever you got him on level 6, slap him down, do the combo, have a giant rebooting security attacking beat stick that also probably does some other things like jamming and stuff. Yeah, really good. I'm definitely voting around this, and he's only a super rare. He's not a secret rare, meaning he's not going to be impossible to get. Oh, I'm excited for him. Definitely voting around him. And then we have Omnimon/Omegamon himself. When Digivolved, you get to destroy one of your opponent's Digimon, and all opponent's Digimon with the same name as that Digimon. This is meant to like reflect on the Diaboromon thing, because he just straight up kills Diaboromon and all of his clones and stuff. But when attacking by returning a level 6 Digimon from this card's Digivolution sources to your hand, this Digimon becomes active. Yeah, this has been the most powerhouse card in the game since release, which its release was in set 1, so it's been pretty much the entire game's life. But starter set format. I wish the art would load. I have talked everything about this card that I can, of how good it... Oh, by the way, it digivolves from red or blue, counts as white. That white might be important in the future, we don't actually know. This card is insane. Can we please have the artwork load? I'm gonna give it 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think we've loaded too many images, it's starting to slow down. Millenniumon is next. Another level 7. This one evolves from black and purple. He is 13,000 DP. By the way, Omnimon was 15. I'm pretty sure that's the highest we've seen. See, Millenniumon loads. Let's see if Omnimon loaded. Apparently not. But yeah, 15. Millenniumon. When you Digivolve, you get to return one of your Protoss Digimon to the bottom of the deck. That Digimon's Digivolution sources are discarded, and considering this game has very little to no shuffling, because you don't really search through your deck all that often, that basically says goodbye to that card for the rest of the game, and it's also not counting as destruction, which is really good. And when he's destroyed himself, meaning he does counter himself, funnily enough, if he had any Digivolution sources, you may play it from the bin without paying its cost. So he gets Soul Guard from Buddy Fight, which is really good. It's not true Soul Guard because you only get this revival once. You do kill off all the sources, not just one of them when this happens. Or he doesn't come back with all his sources or anything like that. You are playing a new Millenniumon. Meaning he doesn't get his when Digivolved ability either. They did think about that. But yeah, this card has been like my main deck building around this boy. Hence why I've been using the black Diaboromon, not the white Diaboromon, because he works really well with this card, who is a sticky boy that can gain all of those reboot combos and stuff. And when you do that, he's really annoying, because even if you kill him by destruction, he's just gonna come back, including via Omnimon. He also is really good at killing Omnimon, all considering. Okay, we're up to the option cards. At last, here we have Power of Breath. This is cost 2, main, one of your Digimon gets reboot, its DP cannot be reduced and it cannot be returned to the hand or deck until the end of your opponent's next turn. That is a really solid effect and can give reboot combos to if you happen to miss Toyagumon or the thing it's in currently is not reboot or anything like that. But it also is just really good at making a sticky Digimon even more sticky. And it also has a security effect of none of your opponent's Digimon can attack the player or security until the end of this turn. So that could be a really good, like, your opponent is rookie rushing you, you pull a Power of Breath, and suddenly their entire game plan is screwed over, and you might be able to come back with all your powerful blockers, because they might have been attacking into your blockers, because they have more attacks than you have blockers and security. They'll go for game, and then Power of Breath comes out, and it's just, nope. You are not winning this turn. But yeah, that's an interesting effect that I am very interested in. I'm not sure if it's going to be a staple of black, but it's certainly going to be an interesting card in my opinion. Even better for black though is Beast Cyclone. All your Digimon with blocker or reboot gain security attack +1 until the end of this turn for 3 cost. And its security effect is added to your hand. This is the aggression black needed, in my opinion, because I've played black. The deck has an aggression issue, because you're mostly relying on Diaboromon, the black promo, to do most of your damage. You're not really getting a lot of damage through. This turns your deck from being the slow blocker stally type, and this is actually the main reason I'm interested in, where is it? Craniumon, because this combined with Beast Cyclone is insane, because you're setting up all these blockers, you're building around the blocker build, none of your blockers can get destroyed by card effects, you might be able to get some of them jamming, maybe some of them reboot or something like that, and then you just swing with a huge amount of security attacks. It's a really good finisher for black. They desperately needed a card like this, in my opinion. Good finisher. Very interested. This is a card I'm liking for its artwork. That was a good time. Mostly because I like Gardramon and I like Harugumon even more. And this is both of them. That little like episode from the reboot of Adventure with Gardramon and Mimi, that was so good. But yeah, also this card has a pretty neat effect, which is full cost main, one of your opponent's Digimon Digivolve 1, and then if that Digimon's play cost is 4 or lower, you destroy it. That's not going to kill an awful lot of things, because that is play cost, not Digivolution cost. But de-digivolving can be neat. Security effect is just added to your hand. I wish that was just use its main effect, because that would be really funny. And it is full cost. I'm not sure if I like that full cost. But this is on the list because it has an interesting effect and also really nice artwork. I really like that artwork. It's so cute. The little blue butterfly. I'm getting tired, so it is getting pretty boring. You're going through a boring storm. That is a bad joke, Blake. Stopped it. One cost main, draw 1. Security effect is draw 2. I kind of just like cards like this in card games where it's just, you pay 1 to draw 1. You're basically just minusing on your memory resources. That security effect of drawing 2 can be quite powerful as well. But I'm pretty sure this doesn't see a lot of play. Mostly because it's not 0 cost, it is 1 cost, so it's not directly a cycle. But it is an interesting card to consider. And it's also called Boring Storm, and that's just funny to me. The Ray of Victory is 5 cost blue. Main, return one of your opponent's level 5 or less Digimon to the hand. And then that Digimon's Digivolution sources are discarded, obviously. And then if you have a blue tamer, one of your Digimon becomes active. And then security, activate this card's main effect. This has got the artwork of All Force Digimon. Now, it is 5 cost. You're often not going to then be able to attack with one of your Digimon after playing this. But if you do, that's pretty cool, because your opponent gave you enough memory to do that. Because you're removing one of your opponent's Digimon via non-destruction removal. It is only 5 or less. Do note that. But can be important. And even if you get it during the security check, that means you're removing one of your opponent's potential attacks, and also restanding one of your Digimon so that they can't get attacked. Not that your opponent is probably going to attack security before attacking your Digimon, unfortunately. Interesting card. I don't think it's used. I haven't really seen it. But I haven't really looked at that many lists, to be perfectly honest on that. What I definitely know is used is Vulcan's Hammer. 0 cost, gain +1 memory. That is surprisingly powerful. Security effect is gain +2 memory, which is definitely powerful. Because getting +2 memory during your opponent's turn means you can just shift it to your turn before your opponent even thinks, before your opponent can make any more attacks or anything. If your opponent is playing tight to their memory, that can screw them over pretty easily. But yeah, just surprisingly enough, 0 cost, gain +1 memory, does a lot more than it looks, and is a 4 of staple in a lot of blue decks. Wolfcore. 4 cost, choose one of your Digimon's Digivolution sources and play it as a separate Digimon without paying its cost, and the security effect is activate the card's main effect. This card is a little tricky to use, because you do have to kind of build your deck around it, but we've already seen what Imperial Dramon and Leopardmon can do with this sort of thing, and Metal Garurumon is already doing, like, Garurumon, Gabumon combos, which this can also enable. Yeah, this card is surprisingly good. Certainly an interesting card. Flower Cannon is basically, I think it's Green's best card. It is 2 cost, rest one of your opponent's Digimon, and security, rest all your opponent's Digimon without blocker. This is powerful, because you could either rest any of your opponent's Digimon, which might be a blocker that you might be using so you can get your security attacks through, or you could just rest something to start your attack chains, And a security effect is just basically stop attacks for the turn. Pretty good. Flower Cannon is a good card. And certainly, yeah, I think it's Green's best card, to be perfectly honest. Another green card is Dimension Scissor, which is a 3-cost option. One of your Digimon gets, if this Digimon destroys an opponent's Digimon by battling, make this Digimon active until the end of your turn. This is the combo card with like Rust Tyrannomon and Grand Kawagamon, because you could just do a whole series of attacks, and the security effect is added to your hand, so you're probably going to be using. It even has Kawagamon in the artwork. It's a really good card for just going for a huge swing play. Very, very interesting card. Onto a purple option called Rematch. It is cost 2, and main effect is one of your Digimon gets when destroyed. Play this card without paying its cost. Digimon played by this effect do not activate their when played effects until the end of this turn. That is a surprisingly powerful effect. You can use it with all your vengeance things like Devimon. It also is one of the cards that Lilithmon can grab. One of the 2-cost options that Lilithmon can refund. And that's why this is in the list, because I'm kind of just really liking purple options that cost 2. That being said, I think that's the only one on this list, which is funny to me. I thought I added more. Maybe I didn't just think if any of the others were as interesting. I don't know. Gravity Crush is next. 0 cost to gain +2 memory, and at the end of your turn get -2 memory. Now this doesn't have a security effect. It's nowhere near as good as Vulcan's Hammer. I just think it's interesting for the same reason I thought Digitalmamon was interesting. Might be good. Precise Tactics. Shows Digimon playing the Digimon card game. That's funny. Main, one of your Digimon gets, if this Digimon security check reveals an option card, that security effect does not activate until the end of this turn, cost 1. That could be a really nice finisher for red, because it allows you to just go for the game without having to worry about any crazy security option cards that are just going to ruin your end game. Security effect is added to your hand, and at 1 cost, that's the sort of effect I would want at 1 cost. I wouldn't want it any higher than that, then it wouldn't be all that helpful. It's when it works really well, and other times it's just insurance. Onto a yellow option card. This one costs 4, and main, change one of your opponent's base DP to 3,000 to the end of your opponent's next turn. You play this to work with all the like minus DP stuff. It does cost 4, so you might not be able to do that reliably, but its potential is there, and of course it's until the opponent's next turn, so you might be able to just scare your opponent out of attacking, or risk them dying to security or a blocker. Glorious Burst! I just shook everything. I'm getting really tired. I'm so glad we are almost done with this. We only have some like Tamer cards left, I think. This is 9 cost, but this card's cost in hand is reduced by 1 for every one of your yellow Tamers. And then its main effect is one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 12,000 DP until the end of your turn, which probably kills everything. If it doesn't, well, if you manage to get it low cost enough, you might be able to kill an Omnimon with using like Shine Greymon or Seraphimon or something, which is pretty good. Good removal card that has an interesting cost reduction effect. Finally, onto the Tamers. We're onto the last set of cards, and then I can end this. Oh my god, it's an hour and 15 minutes. Matt Ishida. Start of your turn, if your opponent's Digimon has no Digivolution sources, gain +1 memory. This is a starter deck card. I don't think it's commonly used in decks, but hey, that is a pretty good effect if you could start stacking them. It's also only cost 2, and has the security effect of just playing it, which is pretty good. Mimi Tachikawa, staple green Tamer card. Start of your turn, if your memory is 2 or less, it becomes 3, which is very important green. But also main, if you have a level 5 or more green Digimon, by resting this card, you can hatch a Digi-Egg in your raising area or move one of your level 3 or more Digimon from your raising area to your battle area. Basically just gives you more plays that you otherwise wouldn't normally get in a turn. And that's very powerful for green, when you're focusing around evolution stuff. Here we have another Mimi. This one is in purple. And this costs 2, and during both players' turns, if you or your opponent play an option card, by resting this card, get +1 memory. And Security is playing this without its cost. This is a Glowithmon support, basically. And that's why it's in here, because I'm interested in that deck. TK Takaishi this is the set 1 version. We have another one. So this TK is start of your turn. If your memory is 2 or less, it becomes 3. That's in every single color. But its second effect, its unique effect, is when played, you check all your security cards, reveal 1 from among them, you add it to your hand. If it is a yellow card, recovery +1, then shuffle your security. And then your security effect is play this card without paying its cost, which could be kind of crazy. Yeah, that's a really interesting effect. It's so far the only card that allows you to look at your security cards as well as like do some exchange in them. Cherubimon allows you to add to your security and start setting that up. But this allows you to actually get cards from your security, which is an interesting effect in itself. And this one is interesting. It's another TK. This one's from the starter set. This is probably the most powerful card in the starter set format. Not as much in the actual constructed formats, but 2 cost, opponent's turn, or security Digimon get plus 2000 DB. That can be insane, because it basically, if you stack them up early enough, your opponent is just going to lose all their Digimon to security attacks, and then you might be able to recover some of your securities, so they have to deal with more of it while losing more of their Digimon, and it's a huge tempo swing. And certainly starts winning you the game very quickly if you get them out early enough, which can be tricky. Whew! We are done! How did I get through that entire recording without screwing up? Bar like a sniffle. Thank you very much for watching this now very long video. I'm not sure if I'm going to split this up or not. If I have, thank you for watching all of these videos. If I didn't split this up, thank you for watching this entire video. All 75 cards, me talking about a whole bunch of Digimon cards. And we don't even know all the cards in set 3. Thank you very much for watching. Like if you liked the video, subscribe if you did. Please like the video if you watched this whole thing. Like, oh boy, this has been an effort. I have a bunch of links in the doobly-doo. Check out digimoncard.dev. There is an amazing website. Been using this for explaining all these cards. I don't work for them or anything like that. They haven't paid me or anything. I just really like their website. If you have any questions, leave them below. Also tell me what your favorite Digimon cards are, because I've certainly talked about a lot of them. And yeah, more Digimon videos to come, more Bakugan videos to come, a Beyblade video to come, and maybe a few other games, maybe a little bit of Warhammer. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Kiraton out.